If the bee disappeared from the surface of the earth, man would have no more than 4 years to live. This quote is often attributed to Albert Einstein, though he probably never said it. But here's the terrifying part: he should have. Because if certain animals disappeared tomorrow, the cascading effects would devastate our planet. Today, we're exploring what would happen if key animals vanished. The results might shock you. Section 1. Bees: the silent apocalypse. Let's start with bees, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Bees are responsible for pollinating about 87 crops worldwide that employ animal pollinators. Around 84% of commercial crops depend on bee pollination. Only 13 crops absolutely require animal pollination, while 30 more are highly dependent on it. If bees disappeared, the first casualties would be plants that rely exclusively on specific bee species for pollination. Many bee orchids would die off without human intervention, altering ecosystems and triggering additional extinctions of dependent organisms. Blueberries and cherries rely on honeybees for up to 90% of their pollination. Apples, avocados, onions, almonds, and coffee would become rare and expensive. The California Almond Board says that without bees, almonds simply wouldn't exist. Humanity would survive. We'd still have cereal grains which are wind-pollinated. But our diets would suffer tremendously. The availability and diversity of fresh produce would decline substantially, and human nutrition would likely suffer. The bigger problem? If bees cannot adapt, whole ecosystems will collapse. Losing bees will result in a chain reaction felt through entire ecosystems and food chains, including our own. Section 2. Sharks: ocean collapse. Since 1970, we've lost 71.1% of sharks and rays. If they all disappeared, ocean ecosystems would spiral into chaos. Without sharks as apex predators, the entire ocean ecosystem could fall out of balance. They maintain species below them in the food chain and indirectly maintain seagrass and coral reef habitats. If the sharks disappear, the little fish explode in population, because nothing's eating them, explains Toby Daly Engel, director of the Shark Conservation Lab at Florida Tech. Without sharks, other predatory fish would reduce herbivore numbers, allowing algae to dominate over coral reefs. The real-world example is chilling. Off the coast of North Carolina, overfishing sharks decimated scallop, oyster, and clam populations. The sudden dearth of bull, great white, and hammerhead sharks led to a jump in cownose rays, which spent their days chowing on shellfish that otherwise may have wound up on dinner plates. Algae blooms would suck oxygen out of the water, suffocating marine life. Some algae blooms produce toxins incredibly harmful to marine life and people. The loss would directly affect the world economy. Without sharks, rays and other predators will devour sea creatures we eat, forcing fisheries to close. In the Bahamas, one live reef shark brings in $250,000 from tourists. In Belize, a single whale shark can bring in $2 million over its lifetime. Section 3. Elephants: ecosystem engineers. Elephants are called ecosystem engineers for good reason. They shape entire landscapes. Elephants dig watering holes that other animals depend on during droughts. They knock down trees, creating grasslands for smaller species. Their dung spreads seeds across vast distances. Some plants can only germinate after passing through an elephant's digestive system. Without elephants, African savannas would transform. Forests would become denser, reducing habitat for grazing animals. Waterholes would dry up, affecting countless species. Seed dispersal would plummet, causing plant diversity to collapse. Elephants also serve as umbrella species. Protecting their habitat protects hundreds of other species. Their disappearance would trigger a domino effect, with herbivores losing food sources, carnivores losing prey, and entire ecosystems restructuring. The economic impact would be severe too. Wildlife tourism in Africa generates billions. Without elephants, one of the continent's biggest tourist draws vanishes. Section 4. Bats. The nightworkers' bats are among the most underappreciated animals on Earth. Yet their disappearance would be catastrophic. Bats pollinate over 500 species of plants, including mangoes, bananas, guavas, and agave, the plant used to make tequila. They're the primary pollinators for many night-blooming plants that other pollinators can't reach. Even more important, insect control. A single bat can eat thousands of insects per night. Bats consume massive quantities of agricultural pests, saving farmers billions in crop damage and pesticides. Without bats, insect populations would explode. Mosquitoes would multiply rapidly, spreading diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Agricultural pests would devastate crops, forcing massive pesticide use that would poison ecosystems further. The economic impact is staggering. Bats provide an estimated $3.7 billion worth of pest control services to U.S. agriculture alone. Globally, the number is much higher. Section 5. Plankton, the invisible foundation. Most people never think about plankton. But they should. Phytoplankton, microscopic ocean plants, produce more than half of Earth's oxygen. Yes, more than all the forests combined. Every second breath you take comes from plankton. They're also the foundation of the ocean food web. Zooplankton eat phytoplankton. Small fish eat zooplankton. Bigger fish eat small fish. All the way up to whales and sharks. Without plankton, the entire ocean would collapse within weeks. Fish populations would crash. Whales, dolphins, and seals would starve. The fishing industry would completely collapse, eliminating a primary protein source for billions of people. But the truly terrifying part is oxygen. Without phytoplankton producing oxygen and absorbing carbon dioxide, atmospheric CO2 levels would skyrocket, accelerating climate change dramatically. Ocean dead zones would expand. The planet would become increasingly uninhabitable. Plankton might be invisible, but they're arguably the most important organisms on Earth. Section 6. Earthworms. Underground heroes. Earthworms might seem insignificant. They're not. Earthworms aerate soil, allowing water and nutrients to penetrate deep. They break down organic matter, creating nutrient-rich soil. They're essentially nature's composters and plows rolled into one. Without earthworms, soil quality would collapse. Compacted, nutrient-poor soil would reduce crop yields dramatically. Water wouldn't penetrate properly, increasing flooding and drought problems. Decomposition would slow, leaving dead plant material to pile up. Farmers would need massive amounts of artificial fertilizers and mechanical tilling, both expensive and environmentally damaging. Food production costs would skyrocket. In some regions, agriculture might become impossible. Charles Darwin spent 39 years studying earthworms and concluded, it may be doubted whether there are many other animals which have played so important a part in the history of the world. He was right. From bees pollinating our food to sharks balancing oceans. From elephants engineering ecosystems to bats controlling insects. From plankton producing our oxygen to earthworms enriching our soil. These animals aren't just nice to have, they're essential to human survival. Their extinction wouldn't just be a loss of biodiversity. It would trigger cascading collapses that would fundamentally alter Earth's ability to support life. The good news? Most of these animals aren't gone yet. Pollinator numbers have decreased by almost 25% since 1987, and more than one-third of shark and ray species are now endangered or critically endangered. But we can still act. Protect habitats. Reduce pesticide use. Support conservation efforts. Make sustainable choices. Vote for environmental policies. The cascading effects of animal extinction aren't inevitable, they're preventable. These animals have been maintaining Earth's systems for millions of years. The question is, will we let them continue? Which animal's role surprised you most? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more eye-opening environmental content. Because understanding what we stand to lose is the first step to protecting it.